Hello everyone and welcome back to NeoBurgh. Today we are going to be working on the second line to come through Littlehampton here. So we want this to go up to Coulsdon, and then I'm pretty sure it may well go on towards St Justin Penwith, but that's probably going to be for another day. So for now, we need to prepare St Coulsdon. So Coulsdon currently has the line that goes through to Dover, and of course, recently we've put in the line from Dover to Shildon and then down to Winsford. So we will need to continue that at some point. But right now, we need to focus on this area over here. So for Coulsdon, we're just going to crack on and get on with it. We need to put in another couple layers of track and another platform. So that then can create a route through Coulsdon and allow us to build up the routes through here. So if we put in one of these, that allows people to go from A to B from one platform to another, and then do that. And what we can do on the other side is, because these roads aren't really being used, we can alter them slightly to accommodate a bit of a different front face here. So if we go into passenger buildings, we could put on a larger one, but I think it kind of suits the medium building. So we'll put a couple of those on, and then some of these smaller ones around the outside. And then we might as well expand this side as well a little bit. In fact, we could probably do that with putting a larger road on this side as well. In fact, why don't we just put another entrance on this side? That's the wrong building, isn't it? Whoops. We want this one. Main building and then side building. And then some of these, like so. And then what we can do is have a road with the tram tracks along this side. We might as well have it quite a fast route through, because this side, while pedestrians may come out to go to the depot that has the trams in them, the tram connections, there's not really anything else out this way other than a factory. So we might as well make use of that space and build it up a bit. So hopefully having the larger buildings, well, it gives them more capacity. It doesn't really do much else, but it does look nicer, doesn't it? So we will go with those. We'll do a road coming this way so that it lines into that quite nicely. I'm not too sure what to do here, whether to continue this road here or potentially ignore it and then build one out this way. I think we'll do that actually. So we'll just change things up a little bit here. Build this out. I wish we knew what angle these are coming out from, because it doesn't even really snap. You just have to eyeball it. When you've got a road that comes out like that, you know it snaps, and it's a little bit more of a idea as to whether it's going in straight or not. So I think if we have both of these connect to this road, and then I'm still undecided about down here what we do. So maybe if we came out straight like that, and then turned a little bit. Of course, this train line will be coming out here, so we need to be wary of that, and we might actually need to remove this road. So that could go in there, and then if we have it as electric tram tracks, it can continue round. So let's just try and get those lines in from here, the train tracks. And we need to go down as much as possible. For some reason, that is apparently as low as it can go. How come this one was able to go lower? What's that all about? What's going on there? What if we built them out this way? Too much slope. Huh. Okay. Well, what if we came at it at a different angle? Going in this direction. No, it's still only tunnels at that point. Why is that? Have we raised this bit up a little bit? We may have done. Almost looks like the road there goes in a little bit to the... So ignore this. We're going to try and fix this in a second. All I want to do is go underneath. All I want to do is try and go underneath this lot, but it won't allow it. I was able to do it here, so what did I do differently here versus this one? I'm a little bit confused what I've done. What may have caused this? So, hold on. Let's try taking this road out. And this road. And now, let's just raise this up a little bit in between. Sort of where the tunnel needs to go. So hopefully, that encourages it to go into a tunnel sooner. Ah, there we go. Perfect. For whatever reason, it wasn't quite doing it, but now it is. So if we then use the smooth tool, my favorite tool, just smooth this out. It looks good as new. Hey presto. Sorted. Okay, so we just need to put these roads back in. So that would have been a 4-lane or a large country road here. We need to make sure that it's coming out at the right angle. And we want that to go above where the tunnel is, so it needs to go up rather than digging into the ground there. And then on this side, we need this to go up and over. So if we switch over to these roads here, we should be able to have this come up and over that pretty easily. So if that goes around like so, that goes in there. And then we turn off tram tracks and just plug in here. We don't want any traffic lights there. Cool, that should be fine. Cool, okay. That's done the trick there. So now we have our second line coming through, going out this way towards some just in Penwith. So we're going to put in our stops there. Hopefully we can do the other side a little bit easier than the first side. I'm hoping. Please. Yes. Okay, so this is working a bit more. What sort of direction do we need to go in? We need to go in down here. So it actually needs to go relatively straight. So if we keep it straight, and if we can reduce that decline as much as possible, but then again we want to be able to upgrade this road if we need to, so I think that's a happy medium. So this goes into a tunnel now. We've got it where we want it. Happy days. So if we then set up things on this side, I think this was a little bit tricky to get into a tunnel. I can't really remember. And also we've got that other road there, which might be... Let's try taking it down. There we go. Hopefully we can go through here without too much hassle. So we want to keep that relatively straight, but then again, we've got this other way through here as well that we are going to have to go over. So it might be best if we raise this up a little bit at this point. Ooh, that's a big jump on one small jump. That's pretty nuts. Right, okay, so that's where it's going to effectively land. So if we just connect these up, what happens? Is it going to interact here? It's very hard to tell because it's in a mountain, but it looks like it's going well underneath those roads. It's underneath these ones, and then down here it's over the top of the other ones. Perfect. So that's exactly how we want it to connect up. So if we put that one in, we can then match it going back. So I'll do one halfway. I'll do one here and then just connect it there. So hopefully that will snap to the other rail line that's there and follow it along. We've got some stops here, so might as well put some stops on the other track. And the connection between Coulsdon and Littlehampton is now in, so that's good. So we've set up Coulsdon, we have connected into Littlehampton, but now we need to focus on the route out from Littlehampton. And this is going to be quite tricky here because we need to negotiate a river, but on top of that, we need to also avoid the bricks factory. We've also got to avoid the other tunnel that is here. We've got a number of bridges around this area and other train stations to avoid. So I think for this section, we're probably going to go with a tunnel. But before we go ahead and do that, we need to know where we're going to be coming out. So we need to look at West Ham because this is where I want this route to go to. West Ham up here. So we need to go into our various land users layer. And actually, West Ham, the residential side, is up this way, which is really good because it means that we can build a train station out here and not have to worry too much about affecting the residential buildings with emissions. So if we were to build out this way, it's not exactly very flat. Let's turn on contour lines so that we can see a little bit more. Yeah, West Ham's right on a hill. That makes it quite difficult to build in a train line for. Maybe here would be okay. We'll have to see. So we would want at least 2 tracks. I mean, it's not that bad, but it is pretty bad. What if we did something like this? Oh, that could work. And I'll tell you what, we want it high speed. We probably want 4 because I feel like we'll have a connection to Winsford here. This isn't too bad of a spot. And to be fair, we can go into a tunnel and go underneath the city, so we don't have to worry about affecting anything else. And here, where it goes into mountains at this point, we can go into a tunnel on this side as well. So that's quite a good win. West Ham's very difficult to build for. We've got quite a lot going on around it in terms of geography and mountains and hills and all sorts of things. It's on sort of a slope down, almost like a valley between two mountain or hills. So this is actually quite a good solution for that. So if we're going to put in a rail line here, we want to keep it flat. If anything, we might want to go down. So if we can go into a tunnel, that's perfectly fine. And then if we connect up there, we can probably do, yep, good, similar tunnel here. In fact, can we do it just going flat? We can. So I'm thinking from this line, we'll go on to Tolaw, potentially Maplethorpe and Sutton. But I'm thinking more Tolaw than anything with this connection because it's more in that direction. So we just need to now set up a line between these two areas. So we want a pretty decent curve here going down. And then we need to make sure that we can go underneath this. Yeah, we can more than comfortably go underneath there. That's fine. So if I did something like this, we could lower it in the middle, he says, hopefully. Doesn't seem to be changing anything. Maybe we can't. Why is it coming up? We don't want it to come up. If anything, maybe a little bit, but not much. So yeah, there is where we need to focus on, and it's still just a bit low. I can't seem to lower it in the middle, so we're just going to lower it like this. Put it at a comfortable position there, and then that avoids the brick factory here, and it also avoids going into the the river. So then it's coming back round and it's going to connect up over here. Hopefully this should connect in perfectly fine. So if we put that there, there's actually too much slope. Interesting. This might be where it's having some issues. No, that's too much. That's too much. Let's just lower it a little bit there. And that seems to be just right. Right, so if we go through from here and just follow that other line. In fact, that's already where it needs to go. Perfect. We've actually got a connection up to West Ham now. So that's pretty cool. So we've connected up Littlehampton to Coulsdon and West Ham now. Obviously, with West Ham, we haven't actually got a public transport network in there yet, so we would need to most probably put in a line that allows us to do that and put people from the train station into and around the city. So, in fact, that's a pretty horrible one to see. There we go. So a line that goes around the city to actually allow us to get people from A to B. And then that also feeds the lines that we've got going backwards and forwards here. So yeah, we need to do that with West Ham. We also need to consider where we want that to go, because I'm thinking Tow Law, and then with one of the lines that come out from Winsford, we can go up the river to Southwold and Helsham. Maybe even have like an airport up this way. I don't know. I don't know on that one. It really depends. And then so I'm thinking that would be the line that we've already put in. So this side of the river, because obviously it's got it follows the river up. It's going to be a little bit of a tricky one to get in, but it should be all right. We should be able to do it. Hopefully without too much of an issue. And then this second line that we've got here, this side can connect into West Ham up here where we've put the additional space. And then the other side, if that continues up towards Maplethorpe and Sutton and on to Tow Law, we effectively create quite a good little triangle of connections here, because we've got one that comes through from Littlehampton. We'll have one which comes through from Winsford, and then if they want to sort of go to Winsford, they can either take the line down this way, or they can go through to West Ham and switch over and go on the other line down to Winsford. You know, it provides them with options, and if they needed to go from, say, from Tow Law to Dover over here, they should be able to utilize this line that we've put in, because it effectively crosses over to Dover, and that one will be going straight up here. But if we have a line that allows people to come down that way, they can cross over at the train station in Winsford onto the other line. So that should be pretty decent, I think. We just have to get it all in. So where do we do next? It's probably going to be a case of, if we just finish off maybe this line down to here, maybe put something in for St Justin Penwith, then we can always connect that up with Tring. And I don't necessarily want this Riverside line to go all the way around the map. Because for one thing, if it goes up to St Justin Penwith and then continues on to Coulsdon and then goes back down to Littlehampton, then effectively we've created a loop within the actual line. And that's not necessarily what I want to do. So with the line that comes up to Tring, we might continue it on to St Justin Penwith, but I think it's probably going to just terminate at that point. And then what we can do with the Tring connection is put in some more tracks and platforms and potentially have a connection going over from, say, Alford, St Justin Penwith, maybe even from the one that comes down from Coulsdon on this other line. So that connects in there, and then it goes over to Southwold, Helsham, maybe even goes on to Kesgrave. We've got a lot of cities to connect up on this area, and unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, it's not really unfortunate. It's quite nice to have a sort of map where a circular sort of route doesn't necessarily make too much sense. I guess you could probably force one in here. So if you went from like West Ham to Tolord to Maplethorpe to Kesgrave down to Helsham, Southwold, Winsford, and then back up to West Ham, that was a mouthful. That would effectively be a circular network, and that's what I've done in sort of traditionally is really laid into those circular routes that we can put in. But really here, I feel like having the lines going straight through are more right for these particular cities. Maplethorpe and Sutton isn't necessarily that big, neither is Tolord, both around 300, 400 people. But if we can connect them up with better connections to other cities, that should improve the destinations, and it should also grow the city, because currently they've got no public transport. If we put these in, then they'll have a lot more public transport. So yeah, that's my sort of long-term kind of vision for where we're going with this. It's just trying to get there. Right, so St Justin Penwith, if we look at St Justin Penwith, it's a bit of a tricky city to put a public transport connection in. Really, we need to rework what's going on around here, because quite frankly, it's a bit of a mess, and this is just an old road that we had here. So it doesn't really make sense the way that we've got it. However, we could potentially push this line that's here. I mean, this is one of our main cargo routes, so we want to be careful with it. We could potentially push it underground at this point, and then if we put in a train station around here, it doesn't look very flat. It looks quite bobbly. So we would have to sort of flatten it out, but then we could potentially put something in here, and we've got a bridge here already. We could make use of a train line going up out that way towards Coulsdon, so that could work quite well. So if we were to take this line out as it currently stands, and we're going to push it underground so that it avoids affecting other things here. So I want to push it back as much as possible so that the elevation difference on the track itself isn't too much. So it looks like we're actually turning here. So this would have probably been where we continued it through from. So if we push this back, hopefully we can make it all go underneath from this point. This is going to be affecting some very big cargo lines, so we want to make sure that we do this right. I can't click on the tunnel. There's too many trees. Oh, why does the game do this? Let me just bulldoze tunnels. Give me like some filters down here that I can choose what I bulldoze. There we go. Right, so it pretty much just comes out from this point, doesn't it? So if we connect up from here down to where we deleted up to over this side, like so, and then we pretty much get exactly what we had before. So if we lower it slightly, I'm going very slightly down each increment because we don't want to affect the elevation gain too much. So we need this to go into a complete tunnel, and that should do the trick. So now we have a line which continues through. We can match it on this side with train lines which basically follow and snap to this other one. There we go, and then that should be fine. So we just need to put in the signals again. Oh, I really hate putting signals in. So this is a very busy section of track. It's between two of our cargo terminals. So I want to make sure that there are plenty of stops to keep the trains moving. That should be all right. So yeah, going from this cargo terminal to this one, it's very busy, and things are pretty busy through these ones. In fact, look at how much gondola traffic's coming through here. Not so much here, but we'll probably transfer it over at that point. More gondola traffic here. Not really here. We haven't really built out this one. But then again, look at how many different sort of cargoes going through here. There is a fair bit. No gondola traffic though, which is fine because it just continues through. So if we take a look at the gondola interlink on these train stations, it should be going through the middle. Yep, and passing any trains that are stopped. So it can continue. Here it needs to stop because we've got some gondolas. Oh, huh. We've actually got a mine right there, which we can make use of. Let's just grab that real quick. Oh. Okay, maybe it's going to be a little bit of a janky connection, but it's fine because that connects up there. That means that we're now getting stuff from both the coal mine and the ore mine here. So that's going to get a little bit busier with the gondolas. This one down here, it's going to be fairly busy because we've got the different things around here dropping off. Down here, I think we might need to put some more gondola trains on. It's building up there. This one really needs more oil tankers. Again, gondolas. We're not using this one much at the moment. We only have a train line down to Loughton, which is getting a little bit of use. It will have gondola things dropping off produce to the construction materials plant there. Yeah, we got more here. Oh, look at how busy this one is. Mind you, it's not this particular line that's busy, but this one goes through to NeoBurgh. Oh, it's like a shortcut. That might be why. Yeah, that one's pretty busy. It's going to be busy here because it's dropping off stone. Okay, maybe we put a couple more trains on that one. But then the circular interlinks. So we're up to 6 trains. So if we up that to 8, then hopefully that will keep things traveling around. This one's going to be quite busy because we've got a number of different factories around here, including a steel mill, which is connected straight in here. It needs more coal. It's getting no coal from here, which isn't too much of a surprise considering that line's very busy. There we go. We put a few vehicles on for that line. I'm not going to get too distracted. We need to come back to Southwold down here. So we do have these old roads that we put in, but we can probably make use of them. So we could probably create a fairly good route around St Justin Penwith here. So if we were to alter the road slightly, we could have a highway come round the bottom end of St Justin Penwith, and that would allow people to get in and out from different sides quite quickly and get onto the main highway network. We don't really have a connection up to Coulsdon, and with that road connection we can't then go through. But there may well be a route here that we could use. Let's focus on the train tracks for now, Rob. So I'm just going to smooth this area out. I am getting far too ahead of myself, thinking about all sorts of different things. What we're going to do, building in like a bypass road for St Justin Penwith. Maybe even just a road that comes round this way and then one that goes back this direction. Who knows? So we've smoothed out this area. It's not very flat here. We can flatten it. So I think I want to probably do that so that we have a nice place for our... Oh, that's the train tunnel. Okay. We need to flatten it to that height at least. So can we raise this? Yeah, raise this up. There we go. So I'm just smoothing out the edges. But that should allow us to put a decent train line here. So a train track even. Put something in there. We've got a place where we can put a road. Maybe not from here. But then if we look at the tracks, so this will need to come through here. We don't need it to go too far up. We want it to keep its speed. So 65 miles an hour isn't too bad for a fairly sharp turn there. Ah. So if we connect this in up here, where does it interact with things? So we've got a bit of a bridge here. That's fine. It actually goes through without going into a tunnel, which is quite nice. And then it goes underneath this other one, which is good. We have a little bit where it's coming out there. And then it's all tunnel up to here. And how are the speeds? That's 186 all the way down here. And then they do have to just slow down for this corner, but that's fine. Most of the route they are going pretty fast, so that should be fairly efficient down to St Justin Penwith. It also provides us with potentially a place where we could go through with the road. So connect up this side of Alford and St Justin Penwith, potentially. No, actually the road comes through here, doesn't it? Yeez. So it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really go from A to B anywhere. So I don't really see much point in doing that. But we could put a road there if we wanted to. And that could potentially connect up down here to St Justin Penwith. So if we were to put a road there, I would imagine we would want it to be connecting up with this. So if we came out like so, if we just bring this down, it doesn't need to be too fancy of a bridge. In fact, can we lower it to form to the actual environment? We can. That should be fine. And then would want to go into a tunnel. In fact, this goes back up, doesn't it? So we might as well just have it go through from here straight down into that road there. Wow, that goes pretty far down actually. That's a fairly big drop. So that connects in here. We can connect it into this main road here. What I would like to do is lower the size of this road. So then we've got a main road coming in that splits. We can make that a highway road again. And then it allows people to go this way round into the residential area. It also allows people to go up to Coulsdon. And from here they can also go around to the commercial, the industrial area, It's this bit that I'm not too happy with, so I'm probably going to keep that connection there. I just don't want it going that direction. I want it to come over this way. If anything, we want it to be just one of these medium country roads. We don't want it to be anything too fancy, but at this point, because it's coming off of a main road onto another one, bridge pillar collision. There aren't any bridge pillars to collide with. What are you on about? Bridge pillar. Oh, it's affecting that road. Why is it affecting that road? Okay, we'll do something more like that. Into there. And then this provides a good connection through to Alford, to Burgh Marsh, up to Bawtry, from St Justin Penwith. And then if we continue this road through, we can connect it in down here. I just want this to come out a little bit better than that. So then we have a road that goes this way to bypass going round St Justin Penwith. We could probably connect this road in here. And then we can connect that up nicely. And then that connects round to where things needed to over here. So it provides different routes around St Justin Penwith hopefully without them just going straight through. That's the intention at least. So hopefully this will get a little bit busier actually, because we have a lot of different routes around this area. Right. So we have to decide here, what are we going to do with the line that comes down from Littlehampton through Coulsdon to St Justin Penwith. I feel like that line's going to be quite long. So it'll be going from most probably either Tolaw, it might go on to Knaresborough, we don't know. Yeah, that's going to be quite a long route. So I think having a terminus here and then having a different line which goes through potentially from Ilkley Swindon up to Bawtry, through Alford, over to St Justin Penwith, and then on to these. That would be a very long route in itself. But I think it would connect up some cities which don't necessarily have decent connections at the moment. So hopefully that will improve things for them. So yeah, I think this would potentially be where it would terminate. So we would need to have it turn around. So if we put in a crossing, let's try and keep it up to about 60 miles an hour so that it can, the stuff that's coming down at 67 doesn't have to slow down too much to go into this particular crossing. And then we can put in our final stop there. We can put in a couple of stops along here to keep things flowing on the slower area. And then as the speed goes up and the amount of time between the stops goes up, we spread them out a bit more. And then it's coming into a station up here. So we put a few more stops so that things can wait if they need to, and keep flowing. That's the hope, at least. So we've already got stops that side. We actually need to put a couple here. I feel like that does the trick. Oh, bless me. Just reduce the amount of time between these a little bit. Especially where it's coming up to a station. And then it's going through up towards West Ham from here. Doesn't look like we put stops here, actually. No, we haven't put any stops. So let's put some of those in. And then again, a station up here. There we go. So we've got a route through. I think I'm going to leave this one here because we've done a hell of a lot. We've managed to put a line in from St Justin Penwith through to West Ham, which is pretty remarkable, quite frankly. Who knew that those two cities would have a connection? But I think it should serve quite a good purpose because we have these high-speed circular lines here, which connect up a lot of the bigger cities here, and then extending out that from those cities, we've also got the cross route lines, which will hopefully serve a little bit of a shortcut between some of these larger cities, or at least when they get to this stage, at least. And you know, if we've connected up Coulsdon to St Justin Penwith, then that's definitely a route through here. If we were to connect up, say, Bawtry, Alford, St Justin Penwith, maybe even have that connection go through down to Ilkley, Swindon, then that would serve quite a decent amount of people, connecting areas that haven't been connected before, allowing a decent connection between Bawtry and Alford directly, rather than going through the circular route. Yeah, I think this should hopefully provide us with a really good, strong public transport network going through, but there's a lot more work that we need to do. I'm just going to hit play so that those trains that we put on the cargo lines can get to where they need to go. We should also start to see some connections come through this way. So if we look at private connections, look at that. It's already starting to get used. Cargo, not so much, but yeah, private transport are going to be connecting through to Coulsdon from St Justin Penwith, which is really nice, and hopefully it provides a shortcut for anyone that was doing that trip before. So yeah, we need to sort out the public transport for St Justin Penwith and West Ham, so we'll be doing that next. Hopefully we can get some lines in that will allow people to go from the city to the train station and vice versa. But yeah, we've done a hell of a lot in this episode. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think with your thumbs. If your thumbs don't cut it, then let me know with a comment. But as always, have a great day. Thanks. Bye bye.